Hyperinflation is coming to America. Giving all praise to Yahweh Hashem, Yahushua Ba'Shem Rakakwadash. And I don't know where I'm going to go with this. I'm just going to go with the spirit. And the first thing I did was I put in the word, I went to Google and I typed in the word hyperinflation. Then I put in hyperinflation can occur when. Bear with me for a minute. I don't know if I lost that page, but let me see if I can get it back. Well, let me just do it this way. Okay. So if you put in hyperinflation or hyperinflation can occur when some information came up. I'll read the first line. Hyperinflation commonly occurs when there is a significant raise in money supply. In other words, when they print money. Now they had just the government, when I say the government, the president along with the Congress, both houses of Congress got together to come up with a stimulus package. And they said, what was the exact, it was in the trillions. I mean, you can go back and look it up to get the exact number. I don't know if it was 9 trillion. Matter of fact, let me go to that. Let me deal with the stimulus. There's nothing stimulating about the stimulus. Okay, stimulus bill. Okay, it's for 900 billion, which is 100 billion shy of 1 trillion. So let's say this is a $1 trillion stimulus package, right? Now, stimulus package is not a good thing because what it causes is inflation, then more inflation, and then hyperinflation. If you notice, things been going up. You know, you go back 6 months ago, you go to corner Chinese restaurant and you might get something, chicken egg foo young or chicken wings or whatever you have, a chicken with chicken fried rice. It might have cost, going back maybe 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 months ago, maybe $7. Well, now if you notice, you know, 8, 9, 10 months later, it's now $10 and change. And then you kind of make a little complaint. You say, everything went up. And the Chinese, the Moabites don't know what to tell you. They don't know how money really works. That's called inflation. And it's not necessarily because people said, I want to get more money. It's because when they purchase the rice, when they purchase the seasonings, when they purchase the chicken, and you know, whatever they got, when they had to get the plates, you know, those plates that they put the thing in the paper bags, everything went up. Some things went up a couple of cents, others went up a couple of dollars. So they have to adjust for inflation. And that's all it is. Everything goes up because the value of the money goes down. So if this trend keeps happening, what you then experience is a thing called hyperinflation, where they're printing so much money that everything is, people are realizing everything is going up to buy supplies. If you're on a restaurant, you got to pay more, so you pass the extra cost on the customer, and the customer complains. He may not go to your restaurant, he may go to another restaurant and realize that they went up too, so you got to deal with it. So now you going to your boss, asking for a raise, but with this Crown Royale 2020 thing, they're forcing businesses to operate. If you have a restaurant that can fit 50 people, you can only have 12 people at a time. Supermarkets, you got lines, so you're making less money, and then that money that you're making, the value of the money has gone down. That's called inflation. So now it says here, it says hyperinflation occurs when there is a significant raise in money supply, meaning they put more money in the system. Let's say there's $1 trillion in the system. If they put another $1 trillion in the system, the buying power of the dollar will go down. That's why I told you in previous videos you should invest in gold and silver. And we're going to find out in the scriptures, true money is silver, gold and silver. It says hyperinflation occurs when there is a significant rise in money supply, when they print more money. So in order to deal with the second stimulus, where did they get the money from? They printed it up, or they put extra zeros in on a computer keyboard, because you have two forms of money. You have paper money, you have money in the form of checks, that's two, and then you have digital money through credit cards and bank accounts. When you put paper money in a bank account, it becomes digital. So when they send you a statement every month, they tell you how much in the form of digits. So you take your card, you have $1,000 in the bank account, you want to take out 500, you convert the digital money into paper money or into a check. But ultimately, when you use that check, ultimately a person gets it, he cashes the check, he gets money, he makes more checks. That's just how it works. So when you have stimulus packages, and see all this, the Crown Royale 2020, the 5G, the stimulus 1, the stimulus 2, the fact that manufacturers have left the U.S. Most or all of the manufacturers, most of them, we're talking maybe 90% of the 90+% of the manufacturers are in China. The things that the Chinese make are American items, like your Nikes. You get your Nikes, they're made in China. You get your Fitted, they're made in China. Your clothes, they're all made in China. And so these are European companies, U.S. companies, and so forth that go to China for what? For cheap labor. So how do we buy these things? We buy these things through credit. See, we're a debt-based society. We're a debt-based society. And there will be, in the very near future, we will experience hyperinflation, where when you go to buy some chicken wings and some fried rice, it might cost $10.50 one day. Then 2 days later, it's $11.75. Then the week following, it's $13.20. And you're going to get mad because you don't understand how the money system works. And this goes for you Israelites. You don't know how the money system works. Let me read that again. And then I got a scripture that came to mind. It says hyperinflation commonly occurs when there is a significant raise in money supply. When interest rates fall or taxes decrease. Like if you, during the time of so-called Christmas, if you have a credit card, what they'll do is they'll temporarily lower your interest rate to maybe 2% to encourage you to go out and buy. But then after the New Year's, they'll bring the rate back up because they're encouraging you to go out and buy. Because if you have a high interest, you tend to say, no, I'm not going to buy that because I got to pay for the item plus pay the interest. So if you got cash, you use cash. Cash is always king. And the paper money that you use is nothing but debt-bearing notes anyway. It says when interest rates fall or taxes decrease, go down, they lower your taxes, and the access to money becomes less restricted, consumers become less sensitive to price changes that is not supported by economic growth, because people don't find out they don't look at the dollar index and the price of the dollar and the interest rate of your credit. They don't look at it. All they know is they got money and they're going to spend it. So now this is what I want to do. I want to go to Habakkuk. Habakkuk 2. I'll go right to the point. And when you have inflationary or hyperinflationary periods, people lose it. What happened recently in Venezuela? What happened before Hitler came on the scene during the time of the Weimar Republic, where they had to take barrels of paper money to buy a loaf of bread? That's called inflation. Inflation, if it's out of control, becomes hyperinflation. That's when prices change from day to day, but they're going up. So people lose it because they don't understand the money system, and they start rioting, they start burning shit up. And that's what's coming over here. America's going to be the new third world country. So it says here in Habakkuk 2 verse 6, shall not all these take up a parable against him? The these are the other nations. The him is Esau, the power structure Esau. And a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth not that which is not his, because everything that you Edomites got, you stole. And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. Now the thick clay, the word clay in the Hebrew is abatya, which means depth. That's all it means. So when you read Habakkuk the 2nd chapter with understanding, you know that it's referring to America. It doesn't have to say America. It doesn't have to say Babylon. It doesn't have to say the New Egypt.